Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we're tracking crime tonight, where these three men, Javier Miramontes, Richard Catlin Jr., and Dennis Denzer, were arrested today for trespassing. The Midland County Sheriff's Office says there were people trespassing at 1007 South Midkiff Road, and that anybody trespassing there likely had stolen property. The Sheriff's Office and Midland Police SWAT searched the property and arrested the three men. Miramontes also had a warrant out for a parole violation. Continuing coverage now on the fire that broke out last week in North Odessa. Last night, just after 9 o'clock, a small fire broke out on the northeast corner of the Permian Basin containers. That fire was quickly put out by around 10:15 last night, and according to the city of Odessa, Odessa Fire Rescue expects hotspots to pop up at that location for about the next month. We'll continue to keep you updated on any more of those hotspots in the coming weeks. And in Midland, firefighters responded to the 2400 block of Holloway Avenue. You're looking at photos from that fire that started just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. According to the city of Midland, no injuries were reported, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Some oil and gas news for you now. You'll remember back in December, we told you about an oil and gas deal between Occidental Petroleum and Midland-based oil and gas producer Crown Rock. That $12 billion cash and stock deal officially closed today. Oxy released a statement about the acquisition, saying in part, quote, "By completing this transaction, Occidental adds assets that we believe make the best portfolio in our company's history, even stronger and more differentiated." You can read our original coverage on the deal up on our website, CBS7.com. Now time to check in on gas prices in Midland and Odessa and how they compare to the state and national average price per gallon. Midlanders are paying an average of $3.21 a gallon, while Odessans are paying a bit less at $3.16 a gallon. Both of these prices are higher than this average in the state of Texas, which, as you can see, is $3.09. But Midland and Odessa's averages are less than a national average of $3.48 per gallon. And last Friday, one of the strongest earthquakes in Texas history struck part of West Texas, and it was one of over 100 earthquakes that occurred over the last 10 days. Brady Taylor at our sister station in Waco explains the science of why we're seeing these recent earthquakes.
That area near the county line between Scurry and Fisher, it's not known for natural seismicity. The pattern of the earthquakes and the relationship to human causes in the oil field are very similar to what we've seen in many other cases in the Permian Basin region. So earthquakes come when you have an existing geologic fault that slips. In West Texas, there are many of these geologic faults in the subsurface. If the stresses around those faults become unstable, those faults can slip. Those faults can be made to slip if we change the stress state around them, and it's pretty easy to do that. One way is by hydraulic fracturing. The process of extracting oil from unconventional reservoirs, which is so prevalent now across Texas, especially in West Texas, involves drilling wells down into the ground and then turning those wells and drilling them horizontally. And they can go a couple of miles horizontally through the rock. Then, to make the rock deliver the oil to that well, the well is called fractured, hydraulically fractured. In rare occasions, that hydraulic fracturing itself can interact with these existing faults. And since that hydraulic fracturing is a pressurization process, it can cause a fault to destabilize and make an earthquake. What's much more prevalent is that water that comes back with the oil as the oil is produced has to be disposed of. And the common practice for disposing of that water is to inject it back underground in other wells to dispose of that water permanently in subsurface formations. It's that process that is very widespread. Thousands of wells across the state of Texas do this every day, that then in some places can cause increase in the pressure and faults to slip. In the Permian Basin, every day, the petroleum industry has to handle 15 million barrels of this wastewater, and most of that is injected back underground.
We're going to take a pause now and talk some weather with meteorologist Sawyer McElroy. Sawyer, we're nearing the end of the week. What's our weekend going to look like?
Well, we're seeing hot conditions already, and we're going to see those hot temperatures continuing as we round out the work week and head into the weekend. Temperatures outside still on the warm side, 80s and 90s across the region. Here's a look outside at those current temperatures and a look outside over the skies of Big Spring this evening. Temperatures even closer to home, still 80s, 90s, and hanging on to 104 still in Rio Grande Village. At least the majority of us have cooled down. Winds still elevated anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour currently, and we are seeing gusts across the region 15 to about 25 miles per hour. Overall, we have seen a quiet day, had some showers across those higher elevations earlier this evening, but those are starting to die down as we head through this evening. Going to see overall pleasant night temperatures dropping into the 60s and 70s as we head into our Friday. Looking at our temperature trend though, while those triple digits are going to continue through the next few days, and really above average temperatures are going to continue throughout the next week or so. So definitely not going to see that heat going anywhere anytime soon.
Thank you, Sawyer. Some environmental news for you now. Midland Health Services is working with the water treatment plant to gather wastewater samples for testing. This allows them to track COVID-19 and other viruses a lot more easily. When someone has COVID-19 or the flu, the virus is shed when they go to the bathroom or take a shower. That virus then tracks to the sewer system and the treatment plant. The treatment plant will be pulling samples to send to a lab for testing, and then they can help Midland Health Services break down the levels of COVID, flu, RSV, Mpox, and norovirus by helping the city get a better look at the numbers in Midland.
Whereas this is a capture of the entire community, whether someone even knows that they're sick or not. Because even if someone doesn't have symptoms, but they have the infection, they will still shed the virus when they use the bathroom. And so this will give us a picture of the entire community without people having to go get tested. And so that'll give us a better picture of what the health situation is.
Results take about a week to return from the state health department, who's funding this project. And while the wastewater surveillance program is in its preliminary stages, Midland Health is working on setting a baseline. We've got a developing story for Big Spring residents now. According to the city's Public Works Department, there's a 16-inch line break along North Benton. If you're in the area of North Big Spring, the Public Works Department says you might have little to no water pressure while crews work to fix this break. And be sure to stick with us for any update on those repairs. A Texas DPS trooper was involved in a collision this morning at the intersection of West University and Farm to Market 1936, right in West Odessa. According to DPS, the trooper was eastbound on West University with lights and sirens activated. He was responding to another vehicle crash, and as the trooper passed through the intersection, an F-150 traveling northbound on FM 1936 hit the trooper. Both drivers were taken to MCH Hospital with minor injuries. We'll update you with any additional information as it comes into our newsroom. And today, the U.S. Department of Justice held a Zoom meeting to announce their investigation into the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. The investigation found that 5 Texas Juvenile Justice Department youth facilities violated the Constitution, along with the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act. The DOJ says these violations place children at huge risk of serious physical and psychological harm, and it stops successful outcomes. The report says that TJJD violates constitutional rights by failing to protect children from sexual abuse and not providing necessary mental health services and exposing them to excessive force and prolonged isolation.
Such isolation also carries a high risk of psychiatric harms, including hallucinations, paranoia, depression, anxiety, self-harm, and even suicide.
The Justice Department launched this investigation in October of 2021 after the department received complaints from 2 advocacy groups. And starting September 1st, applications for Texans Feeding Texans, a home-delivered meal grant program, will open on the Texas Department of Agriculture's website. This program provides crucial financial support to at-home meal service providers, ensuring that any homebound Texans receive nutritious meals. The program is analyzed by the TDA's team, and it's based on need and the amount of people that are in need.
This particular program is our home-delivered meals program, and I'll draw down grant money. We take applications, There's a formula kind of based on need. So every grant amount for each community is based on that. And
given this potentially lengthy grant process, the TDA encourages applicants to start working with their counties as soon as possible. Applications for the 2024 grant will be accepted from September 1st until November 1st. And happening this weekend, the Odessa Police Department is inviting the public to join them on Saturday at Sherwood Park for the annual back-to-school block party. There will be lots of activities, displays of Odessa police equipment and vehicles, plus games, food, and even more.
So as you know, for those of you who have attended these in the past, they're a lot of fun. The Odessa Police Department has all of their specialized units. We have our bomb squad, and we have a SWAT team. We have our crime scene unit. We have lots of other vendors, dozens of other vendors typically attend these. It is a free event. We will have cotton candy and popcorn and hot dogs and drinks. It's just a lot of fun.
The block party will begin at 10 a.m. on Saturday and it'll go through 2 p.m. Again, that's at Sherwood Park, which is at 4520 North Everglade, right here in Odessa. Got some local sports for you now. The college football version of Madden made its return to game consoles after a decade-long hiatus. And one thing that's really cool about the return is right here in the Permian Basin. Some local athletes are a part of this year's game. Jair Brooks Davis joins us from his apartment with more.
That's true. Now, before we get into gaming with our local athletes in College Football 25, we've got to do it with the right supplies. That's a flag on the play! What are you talking about? The game College Football 25 features 8 athletes from West Texas that are playing for Division I programs. Marcos Davila, McKylan Young, Wesley Smith, Chris Brazel, Landon Peterson, Harris Sewell, Ivan Carrion, and Matt Jones.
It's like we filled it all out like at my previous school, like everybody does, and goes through a Compass, I think that's Compass NIL. And they do it through there, and then you fill it out, accept the waiver, and then everything, you fill out your banking information, so they send you the money and everything, your free copy, you get the code, and you get to Vanderbilt. They just transfer it on over, honestly.
They reach out to everybody, like sending everybody invites to their like NIL apps, and like letting everybody know if they want to opt into the game. And it was just really like that, just opted in. I put in like all my information. Then it was pretty cool.
Although there is hype to be in the game, there is also a little bit of unhappiness.
My rating, it could be a little higher. We ain't gonna discuss that too much, but soon it'll be up there. I hit my trainer up. I was like, okay, like 73, that's how they feeling? Like, all right, let's show them this is gonna be the craziest 73 that they never seen. So it definitely adds that boost.
I mean, it ain't bad. I'll take a 70, you know. I've checked some of my stats, they're pretty good, so I just want to get it up though, just so when I play as myself, I want to be going down. I want to be catching everything.
McKylan says he and Wesley Smith talked about using their current ratings as motivation to play better in real life. So next time the game comes out, their ratings will be higher.
So as soon as it came out, he called me. He got straight to work. So it was just like, everybody's playing the game as you, but you're like, dang, like I got to be me in real life, and I got to go get my overall up in real life. And because this is what people think of me, I got to go prove that. This is not who I am. I'm better than this.
And seeing themselves on a big screen has fulfilled a dream for these 8 athletes.
Yeah, honestly, it was always like, I want to be in the NFL. So it was like, okay, I want to be in the NFL, like, you know, Madden. So, and then college football came, it was like, oh, wait, I want to be in Madden too. I mean, college football too. So it was like, it was just a blessing. When they came out with the College Football 25, it was like, oh, there's another opportunity.
It's crazy, like, just looking back when I was a young kid, like, just growing up, playing the game. Like, maybe one day I'll be able to be in the game and then just, like, stop making it for a little bit and for them to just drop it back and for me to be able to be a part of it. It's just been, like, it's been crazy, like, just appreciate it.
For athletes from West Texas, College Football 25 is a chance to showcase the talent in the Permian Basin.
Seeing us grow in the same place, it is crazy. Just how much talent we got in West Texas and how it's starting to get like out into these big D1 schools.
From CBS7 Sports,
oh come on!
I'm Jair Brooks Davis.
Still ahead, California fire officials say the park fire north of Sacramento is only 18% contained. We've got the latest in your news across the nation. That's up next. Excessive heat is back across a lot of the country, and for the West, that could worsen an already extreme fire season. California fire officials say the Park Fire, north of Sacramento, the fifth largest in the state's history, is only 18% contained. It scorched nearly 400,000 acres, and smoke is drifting into Nevada. Fire officials blame 2 consecutive years of wet winters and mild fire seasons. Along with climate change, crews are racing to burn excess dry vegetation.
The fuels are just completely dried out. We can't eliminate all grasses from the entire state of California. What we attempt to do is create areas where we could stop a fire when it's still at its initial stage.
Multiple wildfires are also burning in a heavily populated stretch of Colorado, killing at least 1 person and destroying at least 5 homes. According to the National Interagency Fire Center, almost 28,000 firefighters are battling the 95 large fires across the United States.
The heat is on across West Texas and southeast New Mexico, and sadly that heat is not going anywhere anytime soon. I'll have all the details on what to expect coming up in just a few minutes.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Another hot one across West Texas and southeast New Mexico. Here's a look at our observed highs across the area today. 90s and triple digits. The majority of us into the triple digits, up to 101 in Midland and Odessa, 103 in Big Spring, 102 in Presidio. And here's a look outside at the current temperatures. They have cooled for some, sitting at 83 currently in Fort Davis, 85 in Alpine, 93 in Midland and Odessa. Still hanging on to a temperature of 98 currently in Rio Grande Village. Winds still elevated today, anywhere from about 5 to 20 miles per hour, and we are seeing some gusts across the region as well, with gusts anywhere from about 15 to 25 miles per hour. Strongest gusts currently in the Dryden area. We had some showers and thunderstorms earlier over those higher elevations. Those are starting to die down as we are losing our daytime heating, but the majority of us have remained dry for our Thursday. Coming up for tonight, mostly clear skies, quiet conditions. We are looking at a little bit of cloud cover across the eastern Permian Basin, especially tomorrow morning, but then seeing that kind of dying down as we head through the day. Overall, though, the majority do look to remain dry once again coming up for our Friday. We do have a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms once again over those higher elevations and into far west Texas. But the majority, like I said, do look to remain dry. For tonight, mostly clear skies, temperatures dropping into the 60s and 70s, winds anywhere from about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Coming up for our Friday, triple digits once again across the majority of the region, up to 100 tomorrow in Midland, 101 in Odessa, 103 in Pecos, 104 in Presidio. Winds anywhere from about 5 to 15 miles per hour. For our CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast, factoring in a little bit more cloud cover coming up for our weekend, along with some slight chances of showers and thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday. Only about a 10% chance, but hey, we'll take all the rain chance that we can get. Hopefully we'll get some rain and it'll hopefully cool things down. Overall, though, we are looking at a slight cool down coming up for the second half of the weekend, but still going to be hot with those temperatures only dropping into the upper 90s. Overall, though, hot and dry conditions continue throughout the next 10 days.
The Biden administration is cracking down on airline junk fees. We've got the details next in your travel news. The Biden administration is cracking down on airline junk fees in order to help protect families from unfair practices. A proposed rule would ban airlines from charging families fees to seat young children next to a guardian. That rule would also mandate refunds or free rebooking if family seating is not available. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg discussed the plan on CBS Mornings.
The idea is that this would be taken care of long before you get to the gate. This way, within 48 hours of booking, the airline would be required to assign you those seats together. And if they can't come up with that, if it's not available, then they have to offer you the option of getting your money back or being put onto a different flight without having to pay a fare difference where there are those seats together.
4 airlines, including American, Alaska, Frontier, and JetBlue, have already banned family seating fees. We've got more coming up.
All right, before we leave you tonight, another check of our first alert forecast, another hot one today, and really hot coming up for the next couple of days, those triple digits continuing. We do see a slight cool down for the end of the weekend, though, with highs only in the 90s. But hey, it's still going to be hot. I mean, at least it's not in the triple digits. We are still hanging on to some humidity, though, which I'm not loving, and it's making it feel even warmer than it actually is. But with a slight cool down and some slight rain chances as well in the forecast coming up for our Saturday and our Sunday. But overall, we are going to see triple digits really continuing throughout the next 10 days in those hot conditions. The good news is climatologically, this is the hottest time of the year for the Midland area. So hopefully everything is on a downward trend from here.
All right, well, thanks for joining us tonight for CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight at 10.